Good morning guys and welcome to another Guild Ball Informer video. You're joined yet again by me, Jay. And I'm sure you're wondering why you're sat staring at my little empty painting tray which I use. And the main reason for that is it is Friday, the 3rd of October, and I've got something to show you all which I'm pretty sure you can all guess, and that is... it's Tenderiser, that's right. So I got hold of this guy this morning, as I'm sure a lot of you have through the post or pop into your gaming stores, and my aim today, with being off work, in one day, I'm gonna see if I can get this guy built. I'm gonna do my damnedest to get him painted. I'm also gonna go over his rules a little bit. We'll have a look at both sides of his cards, how he might fit into the Butcher's team. And hopefully by the end of today I can get him painted, we can have a chat about him, and I can get it up on the YouTube channel so you can all have a look at him. It may be one of the first painted Tenderisers you see, but also you can have a look at the model to see if it is for you. You can see where he might fit in your team, and it might encourage you to go and buy him. So this might be a bit shaky, but let me just grab the pieces. So obviously guys, we have his card. I'll give you a quick run of that. We're going to have a proper look probably once I've got this guy as painted as I can today. And then he's got his character traits on the back. One thing you'll notice is the big change with the Season 2 cards, which I'm massively on board on. So as you can see, the character plays and the playbooks have switched to the front, which you can see there, which saves a lot of the in-game turning and stuff. Now I know a lot of people are worried about the sacrifices that the character traits have moved to the back. But I think once we all use our teams a couple of times, hopefully it may start sticking in. Worst case, you could actually make your own small footnotes and drop below the card. Then there is never any need to turn it over. Saves you rubbing off damage, saves you being a bit flustered in game, which we've all done. So I am a massive fan of these new Season 2 card layouts. As many of you have mentioned on social media, I also hope they do a reprint of them. So that's his card anyway. I'm just going to push that over there, and then I will show you the model. Alright, so it comes in 4 pieces. We'll start with the boring ones. Tenderiser comes on a 40mm base, which is good because I've got probably an idea I guess a lot of you may have had. It's quite obvious, but I've got a cool basing idea which I'm going to try and show you in a minute. So then we've got the main part of the model. Excuse me. We've got the main part of the model. As you can see, he is looking beautiful. Now this guy is in resin, and I've got to say it is gorgeous. There's loads of small detail there on the back. He's a nice little chunky fella. Looking at the pieces, he's very much designed to be in that sort of angle, looking face down, and it will be his hammer that is the contact point on the base. So your Tenderiser will look something like that, smashing the ground. As you can see, the detail, there we go, is absolutely beautiful on this guy. Is he going to focus? Yeah, he's getting there. It's stunning. So that, guys, is the bait. You've got a hole there, which is for a couple of daggers, and another one just there on his side, which is for an axe. So he's well geared up to do some butchery. So that is the base part of Tenderiser, guys. And then the other cool point is the hammer, and this thing is enormous. I mean, look at it in comparison to the size of the 40mm base. First impressions of this, I've got to say it's genius. A lot of people were worried when they seen this model about contact points and stuff. I think they definitely learned from Season 1. So as you can see, this is all one piece. The hammer has the bottom face smoothed out, and obviously it has the tab to go into the base. Let's see if I can do this. Like so, and then both arms are already attached and they are ball jointed, so you can fit Tenderiser right on, and I think that will make a very secure model. Let's see if I can pull this off. So when put together, he's going to look a little something like that, literally flying down into the ground with his hammer, smashing things up. So that is the other main part. Sorry guys, the hammer's lovely. It's got some like wearing and weathering on it. Obviously it's like a it's a proper butcher's tool for pulverizing meat. It's got some damage in it there. It is beautiful, and again the resin is absolutely stunning. Just the detail on this guy is gorgeous. So that and that make up the main body of the model, and then the last two pieces are very much like Meat Hook. He has a little pair of daggers to stick on his back, as I showed you. Small, beautiful. And the last one is very much along the same lines. We have, there we go, we have a little hand axe, which again fits to his belt, so he's fully kitted up. So there, guys, is what's in the box. It's a 4-piece model. It is beautiful. He's on a 40mm base, and we've got his cards. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause now. I'm going to assemble him, and I will come back in and give you a look at him fully assembled. Okay guys, so we're back in, and as you can see, Tenderiser is done, and building this model, I now love it even more. There you go. As you can see, he is driving his massive hammer into the ground. It was a delight to build. It went together in a couple of minutes. The resin is absolutely beautiful, I must say. The only thing, and I'm probably not that much of a hobbyist to worry about this, is, let's see if it can get in focus. Bear with me. Just there on where the arm joins is an ever so slight gap, but I'm not going to worry about that, one, because I want to get this guy done today for you all, and two, when James of Yggdrasil Painting Studios has finished my other two teams, which are the Union and Engineers, Butchers will probably go next. So this guy is just for me to use in the interim, because I very much like using the Butchers just for fun, just run around and smash stuff. So yeah, that is Tenderiser built, and he's lovely. So what I'm going to do next, guys, is I'm going to base him, which is something I want to show you if it works, and then I will probably prime him, and then I'm going to show you at different stages of him being painted. Struggling to get it in focus. It's probably the resin colour and stuff. There we go, it helps. A little trick from the GBHL there. Stick it on the back of your hand. There you go. As you can see, he's looking very cool, and I'm going to move into getting him painted now. So I'll see you shortly. Alright guys, just jumping back in, as I figured I would show you this before I primed it. It's a bit easier. Everything's still wet, but I'm sure you can see there. I've tried to go, as you'll see by his card, and obviously the way the model is posed, he has an ability called Ground Pound, and the model has got him doing exactly that. So I figured I'd go massively over the top with this model and have him blasting a big asshole in the pitch. So I've gone for some like slate all the way around, splaying up that I've smashed up. Hopefully it'll look cool when painted. I figured it could be something good. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below, or if you've got any other cool ideas of how this model could be based. But I just figured with the fact that he's flying head first with his hammer into the ground, it's only fitting that he does a bit of damage. So all I'm going to do now, guys, is I will probably prime him and start putting some colour on, and I'll let you see at some point again during the painting process. Cheers guys. Hello guys, jumping back in. As you can see, I got a bit carried away before I brought this guy back in for you, but I've pretty much just laid down some really basic colours. One, because sorry, I got the paintbrush out of my mouth, that'd help with it. One of the things I've found with this guy, with him being one of the first season 2 models and stuff, and us obviously getting him on release day, so some of the ink is still wet, is there's not a lot of reference out there for us to go and say, okay. So usually the way I tend to paint is I will pick a part, i.e. the skin, and I will paint that to completion before moving on. But with this guy, there is no reference, so I've sort of just laid out some quick base colours and shaded them on the bulk of the areas, and then I threw a very, very light wash just over some of it, just to highlight the recesses and stuff. I'm not the best painter, but I will get this guy hopefully to tabletop standard. So as you can see there, he is at the moment, looking all angry and smashy. So I'm going to just let this all dry. I'm going to go make a brew. I'm powering through. I wouldn't say I've lost my love for painting lately, but I'm investing the time obviously into the YouTube for you guys and stuff, so it is nice, but it's actually taking weirdly quite a lot out of me. I had to do a hell of a lot of speed painting for last weekend, which was James Clark's wonderful Redestination of Stockport, a Hobbit tournament, as a lot of you know I take part in, so my head's not massively in painting this week, as that was only last weekend, but I am cracking on. It's a lovely model to paint. I'm inclined to buy, I must say, just from experiences with this guy, I'm inclined to pick up resins for all of the models. Usually I don't like painting resin, I don't really like it, but I think that's the age old. We've all had experiences with GW Finecast, but this stuff is very different and I can't recommend it enough, especially for a model like this, the way it's put together and stuff. But it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to throw some more colours on it. If I can get it to a point where it looks done today, I will get it on the turntable and you can have a look at it in detail in what will be my finished state, and you guys can let me know what you think. And at that point we're going to go over the rules as well. So I'm going to go make a brew and then I'm going to crack on. Cheers guys. Hello guys, here we are. Look, just thought I'd pop back in. I've pretty much hammered the bulk of this now. There he is at the moment. I'll zoom in. It's struggling to show on the camera, but I have shaded and then picked out all of the grey areas, as you can see his mask and that arm, around here on that sleeve, and the back of these like leg wraps, if you will. Oh, we're getting out of focus there, hang on. Yeah, the back of these leg wraps. I've also finished on the red detailing. Couple of quick highlights on that. Just picked out that little patch there. Obviously I've done all the, I need to touch up that white there, but I've done all the red and the stitching. And I'm probably just going to do one more highlight. Sounds daft, I love the detailing on his neck there. The paint job doesn't do it justice, but have a look at your model guys. Even though there's very little skin, just the detail throughout this one. I've just base coated quickly the like the butcher's apron. But the detail on this model is phenomenal. I'm probably going to stick another small highlight on the flesh, then that is done. And then I've got to work on the thing I probably enjoy painting least on Guild Ball models is all the straps and stuff, so I've got to pick out all the straps, and then just his gloves and his big ass hammer, and then just the base in it, which will be I'll neaten up the base colours on the base, a couple of quick levels of dry brush on the grey and the brown, stick a bit of grass on, and then hopefully guys I can stick it on my little turntable and give you a look at it. I do think the model actually being at an angle, not lay flat like that, is difficult to see, but if you look there you can really see, yeah, that highlight there. There's nothing worse than pointing a camera at it. It really highlights your issues. But I'm happy with this. As mentioned, I'm not the biggest or best painter, but this thing's coming out nice. It is an absolute joy to paint. It is now my favourite butcher's model to paint. One of my favourite Guild Ball models. I'm really enjoying this today. It's getting quite late on in the afternoon on Friday, so I'm going to grab some food and probably pop back, and hopefully a couple more hours and this guy will be done and we can have a chat about his stats and what I think of the model overall. But yeah, looking good. Really enjoying this as a little one model project, and I'll speak to you soon. Hello guys, and Tenderiser is done. Let me see if I can get this in focus here. So there he is guys. I've just been around doing, like, you can see the highlights on the grey and the gloves and stuff. If you can see I got under there. There he is. Just this is my last checking in. I put a bit more on the skin. Doesn't want to focus. Oh, I've got those little bits to pick out there. I've missed. As you can see, I realised there's the whole like ground pound thing. I still want it to match my basing, so I have kept the same sort of sand and dry brushing thing on my base, but I've sort of put the grass inside as if he's literally just blasted a hole in the pitch. Again, it was a compromise to sort of make the basing match. The other thing is, which I wasn't quite sure of, but I do quite like, is I've gone, it is fantasy after all, so I've made the sort of shaft of his ridiculously big hammer red. So I am absolutely thrilled with this. I don't know if I'm doing it justice. I'll probably get some pictures and throw them up in between this and sticking him on the turntable, which I'm gonna do as we have a look at card and review. So that's me, that's been my painting for the day. I've really enjoyed it. If anyone's got any tips you can give me regarding this, please feel free to stick it in the comments below. I hope you like it. This was an absolute delight to paint. If all season 2 models are this fun to paint, I cannot wait. Yeah, so I think I'll leave you there, guys. That is him. I'll stick it on the turntable to get a real good look at, and we'll have a chat about his rules and overall thoughts on the model. Hello guys, excuse me, back again. So there we have it. That is Tenderiser done. As you can see, I've got to say it was an absolute dream painting this guy. I'm actually going to go as far as saying this is the most fun I've had painting a Guild Ball model so far. Probably because it's a new toy, doing it in a day, but I'm really happy with it. I've given him a bit of a, so as you can see, I'm happy with sort of the detailing on the red. Upon finishing the base colours of this model, I was quite not worried but apprehensive, because it's not usually how I paint something. I usually have reference and I'll do one part of a model to completion, but I can see me doing a lot more painting them in this way. The greys come out really well. The flesh maybe is the thing I'm least happy with. I'm quite happy with all the other little bits. So that, guys, is Tenderiser, and as you can see by his base, he is smashing into the floor. Beautiful model. I must say, I think going forward, purely because of this model, I will be getting all my Guild Ball models in resin. It's an absolute dream. Really nice to work with, really a lot easier to put together than metal. The fact that I dropped it twice probably helped me make the decision that I'm going to go to resin from now on, but it's absolutely perfect, especially for your bigger models, your 40mm models. I wouldn't have it any other way. So I think going forward, me personally, I'll be looking at resin for Guild Ball. Absolute delight to paint. I cannot wait to use this guy. It's now quite late on Friday. I'm at a tournament tomorrow over at Slayer Games, the Unbelievable Jeff tournament, and I am in two minds whether to take this guy or with some butchers, or potentially to take my alchemists with Avarice and Greed, because I love Avarice and Greed and I want to prove how great they are. But without further ado, something I'm guessing everyone who hasn't picked this model up today is looking forward to seeing. Let's go over his stat line, and apologies if the quality of the picture of his stats aren't great. Obviously I should imagine they're not available for download yet, so they're going to be pictures from my phone. But as with the meet the videos, I'll throw the front of his card on screen now. So there it is, Tenderiser, guys. He's on a 40mm base with a 2-inch melee zone. As you'll see, this is the new layout of cards for Season 2, which I am in love with. I must admit, this stuff is brilliant. So without further ado, let's go over his stat line. So he's a movement of 4-6, so he's got your standard big guy movement, being on a 40mm base. He has attack of 5, again, pretty good. By the way, I have avoided reading this card, so I'm sort of learning it as you are, which is cool. He's got a kick of 1/8 inches, which is different, shall we say, but I'm guessing there's stuff further down his card that'll lean towards that. But an 8-inch kick, amazing. The fact that it's 1 dice, I suppose it could always be bonus time to 2, but I'm not sure that's his role. And then he has a defense of 3+ with 1 armor, so he is like your Mortician big guys. He's not your usual 2+, 0 or 1 armor. He's 3+ 1 armor, so I don't really class him as what we would call a big guy anymore. So he's 3s, 1 armor, which is very good, and he generates 1 influence and can have a maximum of 4. Now usually we'd be doing his traits, but thanks to the new layout of card, we're going to go into his playbook and plays next. So for 1 successful hit, he's got a momentous 1 damage. For 2 successful hits, he has got a non-momentous tackle or a non-momentous 2-inch push. A 2-inch push on 2 is very handy. Although if someone swung that big ass hammer at you, you'd definitely be getting pushed out of the way. On 3 is a unmomentous knockdown and a 2 damage with a 1-inch push, momentous. Then on 4 he has a momentous 3 damage, and on 5 excuse me, he has, wow, this is incredible, he has the 2 Guild Ball symbols, which activates the ability Ground Pound, which we're going to move on to, and he has a momentous 3 damage knockdown. That is brilliant. He is TAC 5, that's on his 5th box, so more often than not, if he can pull that off on his charge, usually we'd use our charge to knock down to avoid the counter attack. If he can pull that straight off, he's also doing damage and then he can carry on. So he's really got the potential to put people on the floor and then carry on beating them. And then we're going to his character plays. So the first one is a Seismic Kick. So it costs 1 and it lasts till the end of the turn. When this model makes a kick action, it cannot be intercepted. Okay. All of the models except the receiving model on the ball path from this kick action suffer the knockdown condition. Wow. So yeah, carnage. So you'd spend 1 to activate Seismic Kick and then 1 to kick the ball. That's grim. You could literally use him in a more defensive position and just knock down players for fun. If you can just line up a row of players, it would be worth punting the ball, making a pass action with a couple of the enemy players in the way, just because you're always going to go to 1 dice anyway. You can bonus time up to 2 and just knock them down. I can imagine that's great fun. Like, straight away, that is good fun. I can't wait to use that. And reading that, I'm now probably going to take him to Slayer Gaming tomorrow just to see what I can do with that. That could be a massive pain. It's also a pretty handy little trick. I'd be interested to see that getting used and stuff, because obviously as yet none of us have seen Tenderiser on the pitch. So yeah, that's good fun. And then his second one, which is Ground Pound, which costs 4, so it's very expensive, or it can be activated from 5 successful hits, and this is a 3-inch pulse. Okay. All other models, so not affecting Tenderiser, within the pulse suffer a 2-inch push directly away, 2 damage, and the knockdown condition. Wow. Yeah, I can see why that's 4. Now, all subject to using him. It may be very different, but from first impressions, I can't see me using that so much without activating it off my playbook. But being able to do a 2-inch push directly away, 2 damage, and the knockdown, that is huge. If you've got, I tell you where I like that most, against other butchers, when they're sort of clumping together for Ox's synergy and ganging up on models. Tenderiser can run in, ground pound, hence the way I've modelled mine, might I add. He's definitely pounding the ground. Yeah, that could be absolutely grim to your opponent and could ruin any plans they have for the turn, because you're getting the damage, you're moving models, and you're knocking them down. This guy's really about knocking people down. I've got to say, from the front of his card, the Seismic Kick wins for me, just for the hilarity of smashing the ball with that big hammer, and anything that gets in the way gets floored and it can't be intercepted. And then, worth noting, he has 19 boxes of health. So not got tough hide like a lot of big guys, but again, I don't really class him as a big guy because he is defense 3 with 1 armor, so 19 health. He's pretty durable. So we will now flip to the back of his card, which you will see on screen, and in Season 2, that is his character traits, which used to be on the front. The Season 2 design is very much to stop you constantly flipping the card. And I imagine the reason the traits are on the back is so because once you know your team, they should sort of stick in your head more so than the plays and where they're activated, etc. So it's the way of designing it to least mean flipping the card and stuff. So anyway, stop rambling, Jay. Character traits. Rush Keeper. Ooh, nice. While this model is within 4 of a friendly goal token, when an enemy model ends its advance within 6 of this model, and this model is not engaged, this model may immediately make a charge targeting the enemy model. Wow. So basically, when this guy is within 4 of your goal token, he has Brick's rule, providing he's not engaged. That's huge. So straight away we're seeing, with that Seismic Kick ability and the Rush Keeper thing, this guy is a defender. Anyone comes into his area of the pitch, he's going to knock you down, he's going to put the hurt on you, he's going to pound the ground. He's a massive defensive piece. I love Rush Keeper. That's very interesting. So while he's within 4, you'd have to play it a bit smart to avoid being sort of seduced, puppet master, chain grabbed, etc. out of position. But if he stays within 4 of your friendly goal token, you get a free charge if anyone ends within 6 of you. And given that your sprint range is 6, if you get it off, you will always be able to go into base contact in theory. And then the second one, and I have read this, and I've got to say this is the main reason I'm thinking about taking him tomorrow and in, excuse me, potentially every Butcher's team I ever take. Goal defense. Enemy model, oh man, it's grim. Enemy models suffer +1 TN to shot attempts while this model is within 4 of a friendly goal token. So, not only do you get a free charge when he's within 4 of your goal token, it is also 5+ for your enemy to score. And from 4s to 5s is massive, if you ask me. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, look at how often people miss like 4 dice goals needing a 4. Jamie Giblin doesn't score ever when it's 4 or 5 dice. He just doesn't. His fishermen don't like scoring. But like literally that's huge, taking it from effectively a 50-50 roll off on a 4+ to, I'm not great with percentage, whatever the percentage is for a 5+. I think that's massive. And it's also one of the main reasons I want to take him tomorrow. I'd actually be interested over the course of a tournament how many goals the goal defense rule actually stops, it being 5 from 4s. And obviously the goal defense bit doesn't mention anything about being engaged or anything, so as rush keeper does. So that, guys, is Tenderiser's profile. What do you think? I'd really like you to get involved. Tell me in the comments below what you think. I will get straight back to you. Let's have a chat about this guy, or get over on the Guild Ball Informer Facebook page. I will probably post his card up there while I'm editing this, once I've got the photos of it for everyone to have a look at. What do you guys think of Tenderiser? Me personally, I think he is brilliant. And the team I am tempted to run with Tenderiser in, I'm tempted to actually take a slightly more football biased Butcher's team. So we have Tenderiser at the back defending the goal, very much so, and then I would have obviously Ox and Princess, goes without saying, and then I'd be looking at Shank and Brisket, Shank being the super fast ninja that he is, and Brisket just floating around putting goals in, and then probably Boar or Gutter, maybe Gutter to be honest, because having Tenderiser at def 3 and Boar at def 2, there's a couple too many players letting enemy models generate their big plays and stuff. But that's what I'm tempted to run tomorrow. I probably am going to go with Butchers. I've sort of sold it to myself throughout this video. Yeah, so I really like Tenderiser. I think he's brilliant. I love the whole the way his profile is written into a position, and he's effectively a goalkeeper. For me, I think that's brilliant. The two character traits that he gets for free. The way I am looking at probably playing Tenderiser is, unless I need to do something sort of first activation, I probably won't give Tenderiser much of any influence, because from rush keeper and goal defense, I feel like I'm getting enough out of him in the game to invest in the rest of the team. So I'm a big Tenderiser fan. I've loved painting the model. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me work through the different stages of the model and run over his profile. Any questions, stick below, and as always, please support me, guys. I'm going to end this video there. If you'd like to see this on other Season 2 characters as they're released, please let me know. I'm happy to do it if I have the time on the Friday. So, as always, guys, comment, like, share and subscribe. Please get involved, and I will see you in the next video. Enjoy.